I started making beats probably when I was like 17 years old, and I had a little version of Fruity Loops Studio that I was using. And, you know, to me, the audio effects were like kind of weird to navigate in that they all looked so different. Like everything on FL Studio was different. You know, the EQs look different from the reverbs look different from the compressors. And to me personally, it felt a little bit difficult to navigate. Well, it wasn't until I was at VCU and I met one of my real good buddies, Forrest, and he actually put me on to Ableton. So he sat me down and he told me, bro, you're using FL Studio, but you might want to try out Ableton because in his opinion, it was more user friendly. Well, I hopped on Ableton. I come to find that all the audio effects were staggeringly easy to use. Their sound library for, you know, brass, winds, pipes, even bass is packed. So the cool thing about using Ableton is that I hardly find myself even using plugins. The only plugins I really your Waves restoration packet. I have the X-Click, X-Crackle, X-Hum, X-Noise. This is good for, you know, if you're recording like room temps or, you know, trying to get a special white noise, or even if you have problems in your audio, I like to use those. I also use like Waves Center and Waves Tune. I use Waves Center when I master, and I use Waves Tune if I ever need to use auto-tune. It's a real light auto-tune. My favorite plugin of all is actually Analog Lab 3. So when I bought this controller over here, this is my Keylab 49 from Arturia. This came with what they call the Arturia Keylab. This came with the Analog Lab. The Analog Lab gives me access to real analog synthesizer sounds from the 80s. I'm talking Korgs, Kawais, Rolands, Moogs. Very timeless synthesizers that still hit perfectly today. If you're adjusting your oscillators, you can make it sound a little bit more modern. You can layer it with 808s and make your bass sound even crazier. The Keylab and the Analog Lab has been amazing for me.
Nice.
Yeah. I had this like existential crisis my sophomore year when I was really trying to develop my brand as an artist. I was doing open mics, you know, and I had a call with my good buddy Malik, and I said, bro, you know, and he's from Midlothian, I'm from Chesterfield, we grew up together, and I'm like, I'm from Chesterfield. Now, am I supposed to rep to the world that I'm a Chesterfield artist or a Richmond artist? And he told me, he said, be sure to always remember your roots, represent Chesterfield. But because the opportunity to grow and connect with other artists is in Richmond, be sure to always pay homage. So even though I'm not from like, you know, inner city Richmond, west side of Richmond, south side of Richmond, you know, I'm actually 20 minutes down the way. If you go down Powhite, it's like a 25-minute drive, 18-minute drive if you speed, allegedly. You go down there, and that's where I live. I grew up in the sticks, really. But you know, coming to Richmond, this is where all the opportunity was, and the opportunity to collaborate with artists, go to networking events. You know, this is the hub. So I knew I had to move from Chesterfield to come to here so that I had opportunity to just grow and establish new relationships, new friendships. That was huge for me. And yeah, I think it's inspiring to be around so many people that are aligned with your thought. I think it's important to be collaborative because it gives people a chance to highlight their special talents. And if you're not collaborative, you know, you might be the best rapper or singer in the world, and you might go touch the keys and you might not play a good chord progression. You might play a real silly melody, but you might need that, you know, producer or somebody that's real good on the keys to kind of come in and start playing, and oh, now we got a hit record. So I definitely think that collaboration is important, especially when you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses, and then you can have other people whose strengths are your weaknesses build on those, and together y'all make a really good tangible product.